Living in These Times, Part 3. This part we're going to talk about food. How does food play in all this? Well, let's go to the board and take a look. Okay, this represents a typical apartment here in the city, San Francisco. So let's say you have a unit here. There's usually 3 or 4 story buildings, and the units would be something like this. Something if I remember. So they may look something like that. What are you looking at here? Well, this is the top looking down on the building. Here are the fire escapes, or your little balcony. Where are we going to get food? In a desperate situation. There have been lots of incidences of civilizations that have faced this. Easter Island faced it. They went ahead and fought to the very end till there was almost nobody left. However, the nation of Cuba was put under sanctions by the U.S., so they had peak oil several years ago, and no riots. People did go hungry, but they did come up with a solution. So in our case, let's start. Many of the buildings are in either a L shape or U shape or a square shape, and they always have this area here, which is usually open to outside. This is where food can be grown. Organic, natural food by the people that are in the building. You can also grow food over here in baskets on the balconies. Because it's south facing and you're growing in baskets, it shouldn't get in the way of the solar panels. You have to make sure that you don't block sun. Okay, so here you have all this food being generated by this building, not even talking about the roof yet. If you're going to go ahead and grow food on the roof, you want to make sure that you put your plants in pots, and that the pot's soil is very lightweight. Has lots of vermiculite in it. Makes it very light. Plastic pot. Where do you place the plastic pot so you don't put strain on the roofs? Roofs are not strong enough to really take a lot of weight. Make sure you put the pots along the edge of the roof. Okay, and you can put several pots along the edge. Just make sure that they're lightweight and not that big. Make sure you don't put them over either a large window or anything like that, but you could put them here and here, and something like that on the roof, along here, all the way around, which then gives you all this for gardening as well. Now what you do with this food is you might, let's say if you do a lot of lettuce or greens up on the roof, which are light and can need a lot of light, so it's a good place to grow greens, or on the roof, you may take some of those greens and trade them with the building next to you for something else that you guys aren't growing, such as carrots. So you get some carrots or some greens and so on and so forth, and you have buildings all around you. Again, that's why it's so good to live in a city, because you can each building can grow their own food, make their own electricity, and be right around public transportation using bicycles. Sewage is already set in and in place. The water is there for you. Let's go look at some good storage foods. Regardless of what people tell you, canned food has to be some of the worst food to store. Cabbage is one. Carrots is another. Cauliflower. Potatoes. Onions. You notice these are all fresh. Sweet potatoes. Apples. Yogurt's another good one. Black beans. Dried peas. Kidney beans. Lentils. Lime beans. Navy beans. Soybeans. Almonds. Cashews. Sesame seeds. Sunflower seeds. Walnuts. Brown rice. Dried corn. Oatmeal. Quinoa. Whole wheat flour. Black pepper, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, turmeric powder, and teas such as green tea. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of food you can store without it being canned food. And that's just a small, tiny little list. You'll see in the description of this video a link to the world's healthiest food. I highly recommend you go look at this list and check out their website. Now let me go show you some of the teas that I use and would not be without. Let me start with this one. This is clove tea. This is very, very strong. This is a 1/4 teaspoon for all that liquid, a full glass. A 1/4 teaspoon, no more. This tea can do damage if you overdo it. But I sip and gargle with this for my allergies, and it works superbly. Best drug I've ever taken. Be cautious with it. You don't take this for a sore throat. However, this tea is rooibos tea, green rooibos tea. This I take for sore throat, or mouth sores, or stomach problems of any kind. This tea here, I drink every single day, and you can drink as much of this as you want. There's a link to rooibos tea in this article. This tea, you make yourself. I keep talking about organic food. because organic food is going to be the food of the future, and we couldn't get there fast enough, in my opinion. Store and you're not sure if it's organic or not. Let me go show you. But if you notice right there on the sticker, it says the number. It starts out with a 9. Any number, any piece of fruit where the number starts with a 9, that number 9 means it's organic. Okay, here we have some bananas, and again the number 9, beginning of the code. I will also include the video on making fresh fruit juice that I have, which is also seen in the kitchens and health department on Pink Barrio. Okay, the next thing has to be water. Where are you going to get your water from? Again, I think that has to come from nature, right there at your own apartment building. Let's talk about water and rain barrels. Here we see a few. Some of them are pretty ugly, and then some are pretty imaginative, using plants to hide them, and you can never even tell they're a rain barrel. How do you get water in these? They're usually put on the drain side of where the water comes off of the roof and goes right into the rain barrel with some accessories. Okay, personally I'd have 2 rain barrels. One on the roof so you don't have to carry water up to the plants, and one at the base so you have water both top and bottom. 2 different sources. The rain barrel on the roof, the water has to come from a separate source. Let's go to the board and I'll show you an example. Okay, this represents the rooftop of your building. Okay, here's the food pot. Okay, where to put the rain barrel? This you have to build yourself. It goes over the top of the parapet wall, made of wood, goes up and over a little bit, and the top of this has a sheet of glass, tamper-proof glass. It covers maybe the entire partial of the roof. This rain water is the water that comes into this rain barrel. Let's say you put it in between these pots. So your rain barrel would look something like that, right? Behind there. It would be behind the pot, and you may have plants growing around it so no one sees it, as a rain barrel. So that water is used for watering your plants that you eat and the water that you drink. The rain barrel at the base of the building, say this is the building, this is the ground level. This barrel is built up on top of a little stand, and then the barrel itself sits here. Okay, and the drain comes down like this, hits an intersection, and some of the water goes into the barrel and the rest drains away in the normal way. That water's used for cleaning and everything other than drinking, toilet flushing, that sort of thing. You can also bathe in that water. Don't forget that these rain barrels are fully filtered, and I'll show you the filters you can use so that you could drink either water. But I recommend this doesn't have all the impurity that is on top of the roof. It washes into the water. If someone was to ask me where we are headed as a planet, we have a choice, in my opinion. We can either head to Cuba or we can head to Easter Island. My personal opinion is that we're headed to Easter Island, and the politicians and the capitalists and the corporatists are trying every way possible to put the gas pedal down harder and harder.